A very merry Spider Christmas. Season greetings from the Parker family. But why is Peter acting so strangely during the most wonderful time of the year? And what's got Gwen so concerned? Don't miss the thrilling conclusion of the second arc and the first year of Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 12. 20 years ago, the Maker prevented a radioactive spider from biting a young Peter Parker. He likewise prevented the creation of any other superheroes and formed a secret council to rule the world from the shadows. 11 months ago, Tony Stark sent Peter that same radioactive spider along with a Picotech suit and warnings of the Makers Councils, a shadow organization that rules the world. Since then, Peter has used the incredible powers granted by the spider's bite to fight crime alongside the Green Goblin. Danger looms around every corner for the heroic duo. Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of Manhattan and the agent of the Makers Council, has deputized the heads of New York, the Sinister Six, to capture them. And Peter's uncle, Ben Parker, learned Green Goblin's true identity as Harry Osborn, co-CEO of Oscorp, and followed the thread to discover that Peter is Spider-Man. But today, it's Christmas. It's December in New York City, and Christmas time is here for the Parker family. Light snow falls outside as a ding-dong sounds at the door. Richard Parker answers, and standing there is his great uncle, Ben Parker, along with J. Jonah Jameson, who inquires if they are late. Richard Parker says, "Now you're right on time. The party's just getting started. We are understanding the dynamics of the Parker family as everyone is dressed for the occasion except for J. Jonah Jameson. For the Parker family, dressing for the occasion means Christmas sweaters are a requirement. However, J. Jonah Jameson says, 'Enough, I'm wearing this hat. This is as friendly as I get.' Ben Parker notices a different crowd this year at the Christmas party. The first notable absence is Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Brock, who couldn't make it. Then we go through the room. First, there's Aunt Anna, and Ben Parker recognizes her. Next, there's Gail Watson, Mary Jane Watson's sister. Every year, Gail Watson is invited to the Parker Christmas party, but she never attends. The two sisters have a complex adult relationship. Additionally, Mary Jane's mother, Madeline Watson, is present. She is considered overbearing and snooty. Madeline Watson is a world traveler, a three-time widow, and an occasional mother. Madeline Watson criticized Mary Jane Watson for making too much food, while Mary Jane tried to keep everything calm with all the family members. Tension was clearly building in the room. Mary Jane Watson gave the phone to May Parker to play with, but was told that if someone called, she should let her know. This was followed by another snooty comment about whether Mary Jane Watson couldn't cook or simply wouldn't cook. Mary Jane Watson then asked, "Speaking of things that are a big deal, how long are you planning on staying in town?" Madeline Watson is affluent, rich, and constantly puts down her daughter, both through her attitude and her expression. It doesn't seem like she's a good mother. More guilt trips from Madeline Watson to her daughter saying, "Trying to get rid of me already, dear?" Madeline did not tell anyone she was coming, and Mary Jane Watson responds that she is happy to have her, but just wants to know how long she'll stay. Then Madeline Watson turns to question about Ben Parker, wondering if she could pursue him romantically. Madeline says, "Time passes, people need to move on, have new experiences." Mary Jane Watson responds, "Mom, don't, seriously." Peter is helping Mary Jane put out the hors d'oeuvres as Madeline Watson gives Ben Parker a look. Ben goes to see if Mary Jane needs anything, but his gesture is more fatherly, showing support and ensuring she knows he has her back. He says, "Keep an eye out because there are Watsons everywhere." In every family event, there are always family members, and when everyone is in the room together, there could be trouble. It seems the Watsons have a lot of issues to deal with. May Parker is playing video games when Gail Watson comments, "Losing, that's going around," and asks if May remembers her. May Parker responds that she's seen pictures but doesn't know who Mary Jane's sister is, as the last time Gail Watson saw May was when she was 2 years old. Meanwhile, Gwen is calling Mary Jane. Mary Jane lets Gwen Stacy's call go to voicemail. She then says to her sister, "Happy you came." Gail Watson responds with a simple thanks. Mary Jane, however, questions why she showed up. Why, after all this time, there must be a reason. From the previous issue, we know that the two sisters have been estranged for years due to something Gail did, and Mary Jane is hoping for an apology. Gail plays it off pretending she doesn't know what Mary Jane is talking about. Mary Jane, unable to hold back, makes a scene at the Christmas party, exclaiming, "You don't know." Everyone turns to stare as Gail hesitates. Finally, Mary Jane spells it out. "You don't think telling me I was wasting my life because I married the wrong guy, and then saying that having kids was making all those mistakes permanent, is something you need to apologize for?" The sisters stare at each other in tense silence. Gail finally responds, "I just thought you could have done better." It's clear that Gail never approved of Mary Jane's marriage to Peter Parker and believed that having kids would only complicate things if the marriage ended in divorce. As the scene shifts to the older members of the room, Ben Parker asks Anna Watson, "Do you think they're ever going to work things out?" Anna responds, "You know how it is, Ben. You do your best and then you let them go, hoping it's for the best. And if it's not, you endure the pain of not being able to save them from it." Madeline also speaks to her sister Anna, saying she's happy to see her and hinting at a surprise. "You're going to love your Christmas present." She reveals her gift, a plan to move in with Anna, complete with lunches and double cocktails in the evenings. Anna then turns the conversation to Ben and asks, "How are you doing, Ben?" Putting on a brave face, says, "Oh, I'm great. Can't you tell?" Meanwhile, Madeline Watson makes a bold proposition to Ben Parker, suggesting that it's time to move on, adding, "Eventually, you've got to get up and get back on the horse to dating." Ben Parker quickly tries to shift the conversation, saying, "I just hope MJ and Gail work things out." Anna Watson interjects, revealing that Gail is getting a divorce. Gail, however, avoids discussing what happened or the reasons behind it. Madeline, once again displaying her lack of empathy, comments, "Divorce is never fun. I've experienced both divorce and being a widow." She then redirects her attention to Ben Parker, saying, "Lie down for a while, have a good cry, but like I said, sooner or later, you gotta get back on the horse." Ben Parker looks visibly shocked, but her bold and tactless remarks. And then we have a moment with Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson as Peter, being a supportive husband, simply listens. Mary Jane vents, saying, "Unbelievable. First my mother, the nerve of her just showing up with no warning, no heads up, and then acting like she's the one who's put out. Let me tell you, you don't ever want to think about where that could lead. And Gail, we haven't really talked in years, and she's spouting the same garbage about you. Honestly, I don't know if I want to get past it. Forgive and forget. Not likely. But if that's the case, why did I invite her? Why do I always invite her? Because I don't want to be this way, and I have to hope for something better, right?" Peter simply nods, offering her silent support, and Mary Jane adds, "Yeah, of course. Thanks. You're the best." Peter remains a steady sounding board for his wife, letting her express her frustrations without judgment. In a previous issue, J. Jonah Jameson gave his book to Richard Parker, and Richard liked it, but had some question, specifically about chapter 14, Finding Love in the Big City. Richard, having no experience in love, sought clarity. Jameson, ever the gentleman and mentor, replied, "Sure, I get it. Hard to get any experience when it's a lack of experience keeping you from having any. Normally a smart and good-looking kid like yourself, I'd tell you not to worry about it. Just give it time. But should an opportunity arise, might I suggest chapter 17. He adds with a knowing grim, "The old fake it till you make it. Sometimes you just got to take a gamble and make sure you're playing the best hand on the table." As J. Jonah Jameson steps in the grandfatherly role for Richard Parker, he imparts a wisdom that sometimes life is about taking risks and trusting yourself to play your cards right. Mary Jane takes her sister Gail by the hand and says, "I want to be clear about something. I love you, but this nonsense between us has to stop. I wanted to stop, but you have to meet me halfway. Deal?" Gail responds, "I can't do that." Mary Jane continues, "So spill it. Why are you here? Why now?" Gail hesitates before revealing, "I found out Douglas has been having an affair. I'm getting divorced." Mary Jane is visibly shocked. Gail continues, "I've added it all up, thought about seeing if I could save things, find some way to work it out. Then I found out it's been going on for a couple of years, several years, and people knew." Mary Jane is left speechless, trying to process the revelation. Mary Jane offers her sister comfort, but Gail says, "I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so angry and embarrassed." May Parker hands the phone to Mary Jane again, saying Gwen Stacy has been calling repeatedly. However, Mary Jane once wants to finish the conversation and console her sister. Mary Jane says, "So I get it now. You came here because you needed support, a shoulder to cry on, someone to talk to." Gail responds, "I came here because, with as bad as things were for me, I just wanted to feel better. So I figured I'd come check out your whole situation." Gail says, "You know, compare what I'm going through to your perfectly normal, perfectly average, bore me to death existence. Haven't you been paying attention? But turns out the joke's on me. I knew your job was going well, but your kids are amazing. And sure, as much as I didn't care for you settling for Peter, I have to say there's something different about him. I just thought boring was the worst thing someone could be, and that you deserved a more exciting life. What I wouldn't give for a boring right now." As Gail starts crying, Mary Jane responds, "If you think this is any way an apology for year after year of unacceptable behavior, it's not." Gail puts her head down and says, "Is that really all you want from me, an apology? Fine, sorry." Mary Jane answers back, "Well, I'm also kind of wondering if you ever signed your prenup." Gail says, "I did not." Mary Jane says, "Good for you." Gail responds, "I really am sorry. I know I've been awful," as she starts crying again, showing real remorse. Mary Jane says, "I forgive you, but don't do it again," as both sisters hug each other and make up after many years of being estranged. Then we go to Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson having a conversation over a beer. J. Jonah Jameson says he thinks Madeline Watson is a fine-looking woman and asks Ben if she might like him. Ben Parker responds, "Absolutely." J. Jonah Jameson says, "Well, I just might do that. I know it started off rough, pal, but this just might be the perfect end to a very good year." Ben Parker says, "I'd say it was a great year," as we see the whole Parker family together. May and Richard Parker are taking a photograph of the family. Mary Jane Watson and her sister Gail Watson are together, sharing a drink and reminiscing like it was old time. Madeline Watson, as snooty as ever, looks over their shoulder, while Anna Watson, the aunt, is simply happy and enjoying the company. Meanwhile, Peter Parker, not saying a word, just watches everything unfold. Happiness is being surrounded by the people you love. May Parker says, "Mom, she's calling again." Mary Jane says, "Excuse me for a second. I need to answer this." And she starts talking to Gwen. Gwen Stacy says, "Oh God, finally, why haven't you been picking up? I'm losing my mind here. Is Peter there? Does he know where Harry is?" MJ pulls Peter to the side and asks, "Peter, something's up." "Okay, Gwen, you're on speaker. What's going on?" Gwen Stacy says, "I'm at our house for the holidays. I had a meeting out of town, so I came straight here. But Harry was supposed to drive up. He didn't show up. That was 6 days ago, and I can't reach him. Does Peter have any idea where he is?" Still no words from Peter Parker as MJ says, Peter, did you hear what Gwen was saying? Do you know where Harry is? Peter, not a word." MJ grabs the back of Peter, and it's the AI version of Peter Parker, the Pico Suit. Mary Jane says, "What is going on?" And then it hits her. "Oh God, you're not Peter. Where is Peter? What have you done?" For the last 6 days, the AI has been pretending to be Peter Parker. It has been watching him, learning his mind for months now, and seamlessly filling his place. Mary Jane Watson says, "Where is he? Answer me. Why won't you answer me? Hey, where is my husband? Tell me, say something." The AI version of Peter Parker with black Picotech-like eyes respond, "Merry Christmas." The AI impersonates Peter. "Remember, this suit is made of the Venom Symbiote. It was a gift given to him by Tony Stark. I'm a perfect replica of your psyche, house in total, independent, completely adaptable Pico shell. Of course, I can talk." Quote, Peter Parker AI, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 8. Fear is knowing it can all be taken away. We go to the epilogue and see Peter Parker and Harry Osborn kidnapped, chained up, and hanging with an IV dripping into their blood, possibly to keep them sedated or weak by Kraven the Hunter. Sergei Kravinov, known as Kraven the Hunter, is a billionaire oligarch exiled from the Eurasian Republic with his family during the Rasputin Purge. Sergei is a hunter born of a long line of hunters, and as such, he has hunted and killed everything that can be, always hunting in pairs, killing one and saving the other. As time went on, he eventually arrived at Staten Island in North American Union, where he met Wilson Fisk and joined his Sinister Six, taking Staten Island as his territory. Kraven owns a zoo that serves as his lair and where he displays his hunting trophies to the public. Kraven's motto is, is. Hunt pairs. Kill one, save the other. We see Peter Parker and Harry Osborn hanging. Kraven's machete is covered in blood, and Harry Osborn's eyes are closed, while Peter remains chained up. Merry Christmas. Next, Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3, Issue 13.